Hello and welcome back to Cavern of Beauty, or welcome if you're new here. This is my channel where I talk about makeup and beauty related stuff, and I especially love colorful and intense makeup, and this is what this video is all about because we're trying out the DeDe Signature Broken Jewels palette today. In this video I've created 3 looks with this beautiful palette. I really do enjoy the color story, and I just had to get it because they had a sale a few weeks ago where they offered free international shipping, and it saved me 25 bucks. So I was just like, okay, now is the time to get this palette. I really enjoyed using it. I just had problems with the shimmer, but more on that later. I really love the looks I created. It's just a really stunning color story. But without any further ado, let's just jump into the first look with this palette. I'm so excited to try out DeDe Signature for the first time, and this palette is so stunning. Like, this color story is really speaking to me. Today I want to use these 4 shades, and I'm going to start with the darkest one right here. It's called Midnight Teal. I'm so excited to see how this deep blue works. I've heard nothing but good things about this formula, so I'm very excited to see how this goes on. I'm starting by putting this in the outer corner, and so far so good. It is pigmented, and it is almost black. I thought it would be more blue and not as deep, but yeah, this is looking really good so far. I really do enjoy a shade like this because I really love deep and dramatic looks. I just want to bring this blue in a little bit. To blend this out, I'm using this shade right here. It's called Shattered Amethyst, and it's this really pretty light purple shade. To be honest, I will see how this blends together with this deep blue shade we put down, but I wish this was a light blue. Like, I'm not the biggest purple fan, to be honest. So I think a light blue would have been better, to be honest, but that's just a personal preference. I just don't love purple that much. So I'm just putting this around the edge of this deeper shade, and then I will blend this out. But this looks really beautiful, and I'm excited to see how this blends together with the dark blue. Now using a clean fluffy brush, and I just blend the edges. I really do enjoy how these perform. I already can tell that these blend really beautifully. They're really pigmented. I already like those mattes. Of course I have to test them more. This is my first time trying out the brand, so I definitely need a few more uses to gather my final thoughts. But so far, I am in love with this formula. I mean, look at that. It's really pigmented and bright. I had to put in no effort to blend. Like, I do enjoy that. I hope the other shades in this palette perform the same, because this is really cool. To really blend everything together, I'm going in with a little bit more of the light purple one. Re-intensifying this a little bit, blending a little bit more. Then I will blend again, and then I will go in with a little bit more of the deep shade just to re-intensify it and finish out the blending. But so far, so after a little bit of blending and re-intensifying, this is the result, and I really enjoy it. I really do. This turned out really beautiful. Now I'll just do the same on the lower lash line, and then I will be right back. I first thought I want to do a cut crease, but I'm too lazy for that. So I'm just taking the white shade. It's called Opal Dust, as is, without any crease cutting or whatsoever, and I just put this on the lid. And I still think it looks really fun, but it's just less work. And that's what I'm needing today. I just want to put on my makeup and chill a little bit. I don't want it to be too exhausting. And cutting the crease and getting that symmetrical definitely is exhausting to me. Then I will just blend this a little bit. Especially here, I don't blend too much because I will put on a little bit of shimmer there. Just wanted to get the white down first. Really do enjoy that. To be honest, the white could be a little bit more pigmented, but it's fine. I like you can build it up. But yeah, for my liking, a little bit more pigment would have been great, but it's a good shade. I definitely will try it out more. For shimmer, I'm going to use this one. It's Blue Fracture. And this is like a duo or multi-chrome, and I'm just putting this where the white and the dark blue meet. Applying this with my finger. This looks phenomenal. Like, this looks absolutely phenomenal. I'm really impressed by this shade. It looks so fun. Amazing. I just wiped off my finger so I don't have any excess. And I just want to blend around the edges, and I'm trying to do this with my finger. I think I still need a brush to blend this properly. But it looks, I'm loving this, but I just need a tiny bit more shimmer where we first put it down. I just need to re-intensify it a tiny bit. Just to, yeah, get it very intense. This is the complete look, and I'm really in love. I think this turned out so cute, and typically I would have put on some lashes with an intense look like this, but to be totally honest, I just don't want today. I just don't feel like today, and I think even with just mascara, this looks really pretty. And I have to say I really enjoy the formula so far. It's looking so pretty. The shimmer's looking amazing. I just have to see how it creases throughout the day, because sometimes that's the problem with some indie shimmers, that they start creasing after a little while. And I don't care for the most part, because most of the time I can just tap them out again and then it looks just fine. It just depends on how quick it happens and how well you can fix it. My thoughts so far are that the white could have been a little bit more pigmented. To be honest, it looks more like a light beige on me than a true white, because it's just not super pigmented, not as pigmented as the other shades are. And I still think this palette needs a light blue, and the dark blue is almost black, and I don't know how I feel about that yet. But more thoughts at the end of the video. But now let's continue with the second look. It's time for the second look with this beautiful palette, and today I want to keep it a little bit more simple, a little bit more neutral. So I'm starting with one of the deepest shade in the palette, this one right here. It's called Twilight Gem, and it's this beautiful, like, deep purple. It's a little bit more on the neutral side. You will see it's like more of a neutral deep purple. It's maybe it's like a brown, more of a brown shade that leans purple, I would say. I really like the DeDe Signature mattes, and I really like how the color story is it's done. It's really up my alley, because we have a lot of contrast and it goes really deep, and it's just beautiful. I just have to say, the last time I've used this palette with the first look, the shimmer creased on me almost immediately. I think you also could see it in the close-ups I took. like it already creased a little bit there, and I took the photos right after I applied the shadow, like a few minutes, and after 2 hours it completely creased. So we will see. I definitely will try out especially shimmer formula even more, and of course also the mattes, but I really need to try out the shimmers even more, and maybe I will have to try out different techniques how to apply the shimmers to maybe make it work. But I think this will be a shimmer formula that definitely creases on me. Next I have to decide if I want to do this look a little bit more cool tone or if I want to lean it a little bit more on the warmer side. I think I want to lean it a little bit warmer today, so I'm using this shade. It's called Burnt Clay. So I'm using a little bit of that, and I just use this to blend around the edges, and this is already working really beautifully. Like, these mattes are really good. Really good. I just will put this Burnt Clay shade a little bit further into the crease as well. Like so. I actually wish there was a little bit a lighter blending shade in this palette as well. But now I'm just going in with a clean blending brush to blend the Burnt Clay shade out a little bit more. And I think that works really fine. So maybe I don't need a lighter blending shade. I think the quality of these mattes is really good. And if you have really good quality mattes, you don't always need a lighter blending shade, so that's great. I think I need to go in with the brush I applied the purple with to just go around the edges of this a little bit more to blend this a little bit more seamlessly together with the rest. I think this side blended really beautifully, but this side not so much. So I'm just taking this fluffy blending brush I've used before with a little bit of powder foundation, and I just use this to help this make it less patchy, and this always helps. Like, if you don't have a lighter blending shade, or if you overblend a little bit, or if it's a little bit patchy, just taking a little bit of powder foundation and blend, it always helps make it look better. Now taking the Twilight Gem shade, which is the deep purple, and I put this on my lower lash line, but just in the outer part. Taking also a little bit of the Burnt Clay shade to blend this out on the lower lash line and make it actually more smoky than I intended to. Oh my god. Nah, that's just what happens sometimes. I'm fine with that. I'm really happy with how the blend turned out, and it's actually really smoky, more smoky than I intended to. But I think it still looks really cute. So now I just need to decide which shimmer I want to use. There are a few great options in this palette, like this one or these two. Would all the three look really great. But I think I want to stick with the very warm look today. So I'm actually using this orange leaning gold, which is called Molten Citrine. Citrine is a very beautiful stone. I really like it. And this looks beautiful. And it feels less emollient than this shade which I used the last time. So maybe hopes are that it was just the one shade that was a little bit too emollient for my eyelid. But I will try this out and I will keep you updated. And I think I want to do a third look with this palette. I definitely will let you know in my final thoughts with this palette how it all wore. throughout the day. But this looks beautiful. This looks really, really pretty. Really do love a shade like this. On the eye, it's actually more yellow leaning than orange, I would say. And like a yellow always makes a blue eye pop. And I really do love that. I also put a little bit of the shimmer on the lower lash line. I just need to do that. Okay, I just love that. And now the only inner corner highlight in this palette for me is the matte white, which I think it's fine because I love a matte inner corner highlight that's white. I think it adds so much contrast. I will now just finish it up, put on some mascara. I right now don't have any lashes that I like to use. My other pair I just had to throw away because I wore them more than enough times. They just didn't look good anymore, and I just ordered some on that were on Black Friday sale, so I just need to wait until they arrive. But for now I think I will be good with some mascara and a light on the waterline and some lipstick. Okay, so this is the completed look. I do think it's really cute. I really enjoy it. It's very dramatic. It's a little bit more neutral than I typically wear, but I really do enjoy this, especially the shimmer. It looks really, really good, and it didn't crease yet, so that's a good sign. That's a good sign. It might last a little longer than the other shimmers, so I'm very happy with that. With these very pigmented shade, I might start with the lighter shade in the next look just to test it out. If it's a little bit easier, because this is this is quite unsymmetrical in the outer part. I have to say that, but maybe I can fix that by just applying the lighter shade first and then deepening that up. We will see. But maybe I just was a little bit in a hurry today, so maybe it's just that. But I really enjoy this look, and now let's do the third and final one for this video. Time for the third and final look for this video. I definitely will start with this shade right here. It's the lighter green. It's called Toxic Glee. I will take this on a quite small brush, and I just start by placing this in the outer corner. I'll just go for it. I'm in the mood for a halo eye today, so I just apply the same shade in the inner corner. I also really love a grungy green like that, and then I definitely will deepen this up with the deeper green. But as I said in the second look, I just wanted to try today to do like the opposite I typically do, and that's starting with the lighter shade and then building the deeper shade on top. I typically don't do that, but I feel like these shades are so pigmented that I think it might be easier to work with them the other way around. Now I'm taking a clean fluffy brush to just blend the edges of the green, and before I deepen this up, I want to just blend the edges of this green by using a clean fluffy brush, but I do think this already blended quite well with the first brush we used. I just like my looks to be very blended. I think this already looks really, really good. I love a halo eye. Next I want to use this deeper green shade right here. It's called Emerald Burst, and I'm taking this on quite a small blending brush, and I'm focusing this in the very outer part. I just want to use this to deepen this up in the outer corner. Maybe I need a black as well later to deepen this up even more, because this isn't as deep as I hoped it would be. I also like this. This is way more cool tone than the other green, so we can just change the undertone of this green look a little bit and making it more kind of neutral by mixing these two shades together, so we don't have a super grungy green look, even though I just said I like that. I honestly like every shade of green. I just wish this had more options, because you just have the option to blend this green out with this one, and not with any of the other shades. So you always will get this kind of grungy blend, which can be nice. I just think it's a little bit limiting. On the other hand, I don't know which shade I would change for another green shade in this palette. I think if you just want a green look that isn't grungy, you just have to pick another palette, to be honest. Which is fine. I have more than enough palette. Not every single palette needs to be able to do everything. Like, then I just could get a rainbow palette and use that, to be honest. But it's kind of part of the fun to figure out a color story and figure out what you can do with it. So I'm quite happy with that. Now I'm going in with the first brush without any additional product, and I just blend these greens together. Going back into the first Toxic Gleam shade, and I'm just putting this on your lower lash line, like mimicking what I did on the top lid. So I'm putting it in the outer part, in the inner part. Now also the deeper green is going on the lower lash line. Now taking the black shade called Midnight Obsidian, and I'm just taking a little bit on a small pencil brush, and I'm just focusing it in the very outer corner. I don't think that I want to put it in the inner corner though. Just want to deepen up out here. And then I'm going in with the small blending brush I apply the deeper green with and blend the black out. Yeah, I just decided to put a little bit of black in the inner part as well. I just think it looks a little bit more balanced this way. And now I'm going in with this shade right here. It's called Golden Shard. And I'm just taking this on my finger. The last time I wore some shimmers from DeDe Signature, they creased very, very quickly on me. So I decided to try a little bit different of prepping today. So I just normally, after washing my face, my eyelids are quite dry. So I just put a tiny bit of moisturizer there just to get them a little bit of hydration, not a lot. And I also put the rest of my sunscreen there just because why not? Typically it doesn't matter, and I didn't do that today, so maybe it will last better, but we will see. Still need to try out these shimmers even more, but it's, to be honest, it's quite annoying when a shimmer creases in like an hour. It's just very annoying. I think that looks stunning. I also want to take some of the shimmer and put it here in the lower lash line. I just love having a shimmer on the lower lash line, especially with a halo eye. I just think it finishes off the look very nicely. As an inner corner highlight, I just used the matte white again. I've used it in the other two looks as well. It's just the only inner corner highlight in this palette for me, which is fine, because a matte white goes with basically every look. I think that's the finished look. I'll just finish it off camera with some mascara line and the waterline, etc. And then I will be right back with the finished. So this is the finished look. I really do enjoy it, but now let's zoom out and yeah, finish this video. I really love the color story of this palette. It's a very cute color story. It has everything I want in a palette. It has very deep shades, very light shades. I just have nothing to complain about there. The mattes, the formula of the mattes is really great, except for the white, which I think is a little bit sheerer than all of the other shades, but that's fine as well because I was able to build it up if I wanted to. And the other thing with this palette is the shimmer formulation. They creased on me very quickly. Like they creased after an hour after applying them. And that's just not cute. That's just not cute. I can live with a shimmer shadow creasing after a few hours, then I tap it out and it lasts a few other hours. I'm fine with that, but this is very, very, very extreme creasing on me. Still trying to figure out a way that I can make them crease less and crease later. But yeah, I definitely need to use this way more to give you my final feedback, especially on the shimmers, because it's rough. It's looking really rough after a few hours. That's just a thing that I can't recommend this palette because of that right now. At this moment, I just cannot recommend it to any of you, because creasing a shimmer that creases so fast, it's just not cute. It's just not cute. I also have heard people with less oily eyelids than mine, they get along with these shimmers better. They don't have this problem. So maybe if you have not as oily eyelids, if you have a little bit drier eyelids, maybe this is for you. But I just don't know. And the thing is, just getting a palette for just the mattes, it's not worth it in this case, because half of the palette is shimmer. So these are not my final thoughts on this palette. I have to admit that. I should use this way more to give you my final thoughts, especially the shimmers. And I really need to try to find a way to make these shimmers work for me. But with that being said, I had a lot of fun using this palette. A lot of fun. The looks that I've created are so pretty, at least for an hour. But it was so much fun to use this palette, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and please let me know which of these 3 looks was your favorite. Mine was probably this one or the first one. And yeah, with that being said, I hope I will see you in my next video. Bye!